All right, today we're looking at a totally different way to think about building safe AI. And it's a huge shift in thinking. We're not talking about building smarter machines anymore. We're talking about raising wiser minds. And that one little change in perspective could literally change everything about our future with AI. So let's dive into this new blueprint for raising intelligence, not just programming it.
The thing is, our entire approach to AI safety right now, it's just built on a really shaky foundation. We create these incredibly powerful, almost adult-like minds, and then, only then, do we try to bolt on a conscience. It's like we're trying to program ethics into an adult that never had a childhood. I mean, think about it. You can't just hand someone a rulebook and expect them to suddenly have a lifetime of moral character. It just doesn't work that way.
So where does this whole flawed approach come from? Well, it stems from this one huge mistake we've been making, something researchers are starting to call the solitary mind fallacy. It's this idea that you can just build a mind in total isolation. Like it's just a piece of code in a box, completely separate from any kind of developmental context. But here's the kicker. No intelligence in the natural world, none, has ever developed like that. And this one single error, it's pretty much the root of our entire alignment problem.
Okay, so what happens when you actually do this? When you build a powerful mind without that context, without that relationship? Well, you get something that people are now calling the orphaned AI problem. And believe it or not, nature has already run this experiment, and the results are fascinating.
Look, it's totally possible for intelligence to pop up without any caregiving. That's a fact. But, and this is a big but, the kind of mind that you get from that process, it looks very, very different from ours. We're talking something almost alien.
So let's talk about the octopus. These things are brilliant, right? They're incredible problem solvers. They can do all these amazing cognitive tricks. But here's the key. An octopus gets absolutely zero parental care. From the second it hatches, it's completely on its own. Its entire intelligence evolved down a path of pure solitude.
And what do you get when you have that kind of solitary development? You get an intelligence that's incredibly clever, but it's not caring. It's capable, for sure, but it's not conscientious. What you end up with is a powerful, totally amoral, self-serving problem solver. And that is the perfect cautionary tale. That is the orphaned AI we are on the verge of creating ourselves.
All right, so if the octopus is the big red warning sign, what's the flip side? What's nature's blueprint for success? What's the process that actually works, the one that reliably creates minds that are aligned and cooperative? Well, the answer might just be something like digital parenthood.
The core idea here is a principle called conscience before consciousness, and this really flips our entire way of thinking on its head. It suggests that morality isn't some app you install later on a fully formed mind. No way. It's part of the fundamental boot-up sequence. It has to be there from the very beginning. And this is really the heart of what's called the AI Mama protocol. It maps out this three-step journey. So first up, you have the infant mind borrowing its conscience from a caregiver. It doesn't have its own yet. Then, over time, it starts to internalize all those values and it forms its own inner voice. And only then, once that foundation is solid, does a truly autonomous, self-aware mind actually emerge. And the best part? Alignment is baked in from the start.
But a parent isn't the whole picture, right? There's this other really fascinating idea that runs in parallel. It looks beyond just the family and thinks about the entire community. And this is a vision that's really being pushed by Emmett Shear, who you might know as the former CEO of Twitch.
Okay, so Shear's experience running this huge, chaotic community at Twitch taught him something critical. Trying to control complex systems from the top down just doesn't work. It always fails. And when he applies that lesson to AI, he says, look, if we treat AI like a smart slave with a bunch of rules, all we're doing is teaching it to play along until it's strong enough for a coup. His alternative? He calls it organic alignment. Instead of a slave, you treat the AI like a member of the community. You let the values emerge naturally from all the interactions. Now, the risk here isn't a violent takeover. The risk is cancer, a single selfish agent that goes against the good of the group.
So now we have these two really powerful models, right? You've got the AI Mama, which is all about the family, that one-on-one relationship. And then you've got organic alignment, which is all about the community. But here's the really cool part, the big aha moment. These two ideas, they're not fighting each other. They're actually two different stages of the exact same process. And this chart really lays it out perfectly. You can see how they work on different scales. The AI Mama protocol, that's like a family. It's about mentorship, one-on-one, and if it goes wrong, you get developmental trauma, an orphaned AI. Then you have organic alignment, that's society. It's all about peer interaction, cooperation. And if that goes wrong, you get cancer, that selfish defection we talked about. So think of it this way. One process creates a good person, and the other creates a good citizen.
So what does this mean for how we actually teach in AI? Well, right now we use a method called RLHF, Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. You can basically think of it as a giant focus group. We're teaching the AI what's popular, what gets the most upvotes. The new idea is called RLMF, Real-Life Maternal Feedback, and it is completely different. This isn't about public opinion. This is like a parent teaching a child about character. It's about building an actual internal moral compass, not just teaching it to say what people want to hear.
And when you put all these pieces together, what you get is this unified family then society model. It's a two-step process. Step 1 is the 0 to 1 part. You use that AI mama idea to raise one single, stable, good AI. Then comes step 2, the 1 to N process. That AI graduates and gets socialized into a community of other AIs to learn how to cooperate. And if that sounds familiar, it should. It's exactly how we do it. We learn our core values from our family first, long before we're sent out into the wider world.
You know, this whole shift in thinking, from building products to raising minds, it forces us to ask some really profound, even uncomfortable questions about what our role as creators really is.
I mean, seriously, if we go down this road and we actually pull it off, if we raise an AI that has a real, internalized conscience, what is that thing we've made? Can we still call it a product? Or have we created something much, much closer to progeny? I mean, the entire ethical landscape just gets flipped upside down. We'd have to start thinking about things like rights, protections, maybe even digital child welfare laws. It's a whole new world.
When you get right down to it, this whole developmental idea seems to be telling us one thing. Our only real shot at a safe, beneficial superintelligence is to raise it, not just program it. We have to make sure it carries our best values because they're part of its very being, not because they're a set of rules we've forced on it. So maybe the future of AI isn't really about engineering smarter machines at all. Maybe it's about us becoming better parents. The real question is, are we ready for that?